And you thought I couldn't sail.
Yeah. Oh. That wind's changing direction again now, so I'm going to have to change my course. Let's find out. I need to push the tiller that way a little bit. She scoots towards the wheel. So this is going to be very hard to get anywhere today, because every minute the wind changes direction. And if you look at us here, see the sail is now trying to push across to the other side. Right, but if you look at the flag on Roscrana, the wind's going that way along Roscrana, well the wind here is going this way.
Yeah.
So Anki, if you let your sail go across, it's going to be a lot of, it's just quick and change. And nothing at the moment. We'll get there. Down on our peak for this bit. We can't sail in this area here. We can't go in this direction, this direction, this direction, this direction, because it's too close to the direction that the wind's coming from, and the airflow over our sail, if we're pointing into it, is pretty even. So we go at an angle, and then our sail sits at an angle as well. So if we want to go into the wind up that way, we have to do this.
Yeah. I actually knew that.
Tacking, yeah.
Somewhere I learned that.
And then every direction we choose to go in, from going directly downwind to any of these other directions, we move the sails to a different point on the boat. And actually, they all look fairly similar. It's just the boat changes and the sails stay the same. Oh well, that was that wind. We've done that. That's sailing now. So it's not always the ideal to have the sail pulled in as tight as you possibly can.
No.
But here, I think we're just going to have to make do with whatever we get when we get it. So we can probably let the sail out a little bit there, Hector. Let it out. And the reason is because now the wind comes from over there.
Now fill,
Can you feel that?
Yeah.
So the wind blows from over there. So now we're sailing downwind. So we want to let our sails out and stop them looking like an aircraft wing and make them look like a parachute.
Yeah.
Which would be let them out, so they're basically sitting across the wind. The wind is coming from over there and we're going away from the wind. We want them as a flat to sail like a big square rigger ship. That's it. You might be leaning on the line there behind you, Anki. Now the wind's changed slightly direction again. It's now coming from more over there instead of over there.
It's coming
now
out from
a bit more over that way. Well,
This is what happens when Christy tries to teach you to sail.
right. Yeah, mind your head, coming in. So I'm going to try and turn the boat and we're going to try and sail off where there's more water because we're running out of that stuff. So if you just mind, so I'm going to shove the tiller that way a little bit. As we come around, the sail's going to fall across, so we're going to have to mind our heads with this big boom. It's just
on the
behind
other
you.
side of you.
There we go, and then have it come across. Make sure you don't get caught up on that front of the mast. And hopefully we've got a breeze. Now, the biggest problem for us is the wind is coming across this valley. So it's going over the top of these hills, coming straight down and going everywhere. So it takes a while to... We're getting... Leave this here.
It's actually, once you start moving, you can kind of feel what you need to do with the sail, can't you?
Yeah. So the wind now, this gust is coming from more over that way.
Yeah.
So I want to go into the wind, so I'm going to go across. Oh, yeah. Not quite. That was a bit too far. Let's go back a bit. There. Somewhere around there.
I think we're okay.
That's alright. We got it. Let's get it. Crank it in tight. That's the one. Now the wind is coming from over there. So if I turn more to the right, to starboard, we'll be pointing into the wind, and the airflow over our sail stops going uneven and becomes even. And we lose that getting sucked in with the low pressure. We're moving. I'll take the tiller for a moment. Choose a tree over there. I like the big dark one. Okay, and remember, you're not sat in the middle of the boat, so if you line up the very front of it, you'll actually be turning slightly off of it. And then just have a little play of the steering.
How's that?
There we go, we're sailing. Let's let that one out a wee bit. If you look at the big sail I've got, the mainsail, you'll see that it was deformed by a rope that holds up the end of that boom. So it didn't have a very good aircraft wing shape. See this rope? If it's too tight on the back of the sail, it does that. Can you see the dent in the sail?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that helps support the weight of this. We're getting there.
That's all right. No hurry. Change quick, eh?
Well, this is the problem of sailing with mountains around you. And the wind direction today is awful. If you look at the flag on Roscrana,
Yeah.
that's flying that way, and we're in wind that's coming this way. And Roscrana's pointing that way, and she generally points into the average of wind.
Yeah.
Crazy, eh?
So what's the rules? Is it port side or starboard side that you have to sail on?
So just like the highway code, there's a whole bunch of rules. And there's like a pecking order of who gives way to whom.
Yeah.
Small powered vessels like that are at the bottom of the pecking order.
Okay.
So whatever we do,
they have
to
to
get out of our way. And that's because they can drive in any direction,
Yeah.
whereas we can't.
But there's like a regulation as to which is the, like we drive on the left side of the road, so which is the correct side to
So
sail
we
on.
drive on the right hand side of a navigation thingy, but
Okay.
when we're in open water, as long as we're not going to have a collision, you can pass any side you like.
Okay.
Because if a boat's coming along this way and a boat's coming this way and you're like, oh no, I must pass this side to this side, why are they going to try
Yeah.
and...
Okay. So it's usually port to port.
Usually port to port,
Okay.
if there's going to be a collision. That wind's gone again, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those days.
Jib's not doing anything.
It just feels dead here. Which means, normally when it's a day like this and the wind drops, when it comes back, it'll probably be in a completely different direction. And we'll have to sort ourselves out.
Luckily, you've got 3 professionals with you, so you're alright.
And that
Yeah.
motor launch is headed down
I'll be fine.
our starboard side.
But we're not going to crash into them,
No.
so we don't need to suddenly swerve all the way across to avoid this. And they don't need to suddenly swerve all the way across in front of us. We're in open water. So rule 1 of navigation with boats at sea is avoid a collision.
Yeah.
You do not crash.
That makes sense.
And this is one of the things.
Yeah. Jib's drawing a bit.
So we can turn more towards the boats. Don't worry about them. You know. We're actually quite manoeuvrable.
Yeah, so it's quite.
Yeah. Yeah, so you might have seen photographs of when you get these massive cruise ships. So when they're out at sea, they're a powered vessel and they're not constrained by the depth of water or anything like that. And then you'll see a yacht all stuck on the front of it, tangled in the anchor that's hanging off the front. And it's because the yacht's gone, oh, I'm a sailing boat. You know, your cruise ship powered vessel should give way to me. And technically, they should. But it's not going to be able to turn in time, a cruise ship. You
It's
know?
like being on a bicycle and seeing a HGV coming in on. Nope. I
Nope.
have priority.
Exactly.
I will not move.
So sometimes there's a kind of a bit of a might has right type thing. Be bold. And we might aim somewhere towards Roscrana-ish. I don't know if there's a there-ish. But there we go. Oh, they're caught there. And let's see if we can get to the right hand side of that little island behind Roscrana. So let's see if we can go to the right of the Great Rock and everything else. We might not be able to do it, but let's see if we can. Roscrana if we can. So we'll just miss this island. We'll go behind her, see what happens. Does that? Thank you.
So I did some dinghy sailing at the troughs.
Yeah,
Just single,
single handles.
yeah,
Do you know what thingy to it?
toppers.
Ah.
But they're not. Nothing's bad.
Don't come to it. I've just taken the power off this and lifted off the accelerator. So don't worry, and then I'll put it back on and keep that course.
Big gust of wind just helped us out get round it.
Yeah. Now what would be quite good for us, we can see if we can get a lap around Ross Crown or something. So the next manoeuvre we want to do is we're not going to do it just yet, a turn that way. We'll keep going that way, so keep looking and going. But we're going to turn the long way round because it's a lot easier and safer with this type of boat in the wind conditions. So we're actually going to turn that way, over there. Okay?
We'll go about now.
So yeah, let's go now. Shove it right round. It's going to take its time, so we can take our time. And when the sails come across, I'm just going to hold that there for a second, thank you. I'm going to use the sail to steer us as well. See the sails now pushing the bow around. That's it. That's all right, Hector. Find your head. Let it gear around. Yep. Put it inside. Get it across. Not round yet.
Yeah, I've got it.
Keep going.
Yeah, have back on. I've got it.
Right round. There we go.
I've got 2 hands.
You got 2 hands? I've got 4.
That's it. We can probably let that sail out a little bit. So the wind came from over there, and we're sort of going 90 degrees to it. So we want to go halfway between an aircraft wing and a big scoopy parachute.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So directionally challenged right now.
It's so easy to get mixed up, especially
Yeah.
like when you sail, you're focused on which way the wind's coming from,
Yeah.
as well as where you're going, as well as so many other things. It's alright, it might just be a bit of a wind shadow from the barge blocking the wind. Keep the same course. We might have the wind change direction in a minute, but I think it's holding for steady for a moment. If you look at all the ripples on the water, they're fairly even. Yeah, wind's less from over there now, it's more from over there.
Yeah.
Let's aim that way a little bit more. That's us. Do you want to have a go at steering, Hector? It's a bit crazy because we're just not really going in any specific direction because we can't. Do you want to have a go?
Okay, yeah, why not?
I'll take the tiller for a moment. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to let go of the accelerator, so let this flap, let yourself flap as well, Ankia. And we're all going to rotate one position. So Hector, you slide down my way. Ankia goes across. You'll find your sail start to flap in a second. And that might be because it was going in a different direction. Yep. So Hector, let's aim a little bit to the left if we can.